destination. If it's smoky situation, if it's water, if it's whiskey in my cup.
I know holidays are for sleeping in, but when a sunrise is this good, who can resist an early start? Something about seeing the sunrise while at sea makes it all the more magical. This is just the start of the highlights, as Emerald Azzurra cruises us into Turkey to explore its spectacular coastline and some of its most historical sites. After island hopping our way through the Greek islands, our vibrant Greece and Turkey cruise aboard the luxury yacht Emerald Azzurra has delivered us to Turkey. Our first Turkish port of call is Bodrum, the southernmost point of the Aegean coast. Bodrum's port is dominated by the castle of St. Peter, a 15th century citadel that's become an iconic symbol of this small seaside city. Every day with Emerald Cruises, there's included and optional tours. Today, we've signed up for a traditional Turkish homestyle cooking class. To kick off, we need to collect some local ingredients from Bodrum's waterfront market. What's on the menu for today?
Okay, we're gonna make some salad, some eggplants, some dishes with phyllo.
Oh, so we're cooking a lot.
Yes, we love to cook a lot. This is where we buy our herbs and salads. This is samphire. It's very traditional for Bodrum. It smells like sea.
Ooh, in a salad. I can't wait to try it.
Yeah, let's put it in the basket.
From here, we're invited to Aslihan's home to prepare the feast ourselves.
Now we have all the ingredients. We can start cooking. We will first start with the beans. So this will be like shelling the beans, okay?
Okay.
These
wow, we're getting
beans-
straight into it.
Yes, we have to.
There's a lot to do.
If you want to eat something, yeah, we have to cook.
When did your love of cooking start?
In Turkey, if you're a girl, you grow up in the kitchen. Right next to your grandma or someone, there's always ladies in the kitchen. So I was the one interested in getting into the kitchen. I lived in the kitchen.
Aslihan assures me you won't find these dishes in any restaurants. They're true Turkish staples passed down through the generations.
Turkish people don't go to restaurants for their mom's food. They go to their mom instead. So this is why I do Turkish home cooking, so that people can experience this wonderful, rich cuisine in a different way.
The samphire.
Yes, samphire. You just take the stem out, and this is the edible part.
All right. These dishes really are easy and fun to learn and combine ingredients in a very unique way. Wasn't expecting to see strawberries with this.
Yes.
Amazing.
We love using strawberries. Here.
And that's it.
Yeah.
Whoa, oh, look at that garlic.
There you go. Now we can set up the table.
This whole meal has really surprised me. I don't know what I was expecting when I thought of Turkish food, but it wasn't this, and this is so light and fresh and colourful, and it looks beautiful.
Thank you. I'm just trying to show people Turkish home cuisine is totally different than what you see outside in the restaurants.
And people are loving it.
Yeah.
Let's keep things moving and let's moving.
Even with the optional onshore excursions, there's plenty of time to indulge in the sun and splendour of Emerald Azzurra. This area is where Emerald Azzurra really comes into its own, and where you can truly appreciate the luxury and intimacy of a yacht this size. With a maximum of just 100 guests, the boutique feel of the yacht is one of its best features. But of course, there's many more. The 5-star experience extends to the onboard dining, from the casual aqua pool cafe to the decadent daily lunch buffets at the main restaurant La Cucina. Join Emerald Cruises on a luxury yacht cruise in the Mediterranean or Caribbean and discover the magic of small ship cruising. All meals with complimentary drinks, many shore excursions and more are included. Secure your unforgettable 2024 or 2025 departure today with super early bird savings from $1,500 per person. Getaway viewers can save an additional $250 per person off the Emerald Cruises luxury yacht cruise collection. For more information or to request your voucher, visit emeraldcruises.com.au/getaway offer. Call 1300 390 386 or speak to your travel advisor.
You got me daydreaming, so wake me up.
Welcome back to Turkey and our 5-star cruise aboard the luxury yacht Emerald Azzurra. We've woken up in Kuşadası, one of Turkey's busiest ports, thanks to its #1 attraction, the ancient city of Ephesus. And just how significant is this site to Turkey?
It's the most significant that we have actually in Turkey. Out of 600 sites we have, it is one of the best preserved and the largest excavation site we have.
How much can we see of the full site?
12 up to 13% of the city is...
That's all?
Yep, after 150 years of work in this area.
So there's still a lot to uncover.
Yes, a lot, a lot.
One of the most elegant structures is the Temple of Hadrian.
This is one of another highlight of the city from 2nd century AD. Honors the name of Emperor Hadrian.
And I love the real intricate details of the pictures. It's like they kind of tell a story, don't they?
Yep, especially the foundation stories of Ephesus all around the world, like who was the founding father of the city.
And why do you think they made their carvings so detailed to tell a story?
People were not really literate in the ancient world, so if you write something on a wall, it's useless. But depicting the stories like that, intricate, was telling people the stories better.
An important trading city, Ephesus' population eventually grew to over 250,000 people, making it the 2nd largest city in the world at the time.
This theatre is huge. How many people would fit in here?
24 up to 25,000 people.
Wow, that's a lot of people in here. What would people have been watching?
Actually, during the Greek period, we know that they mostly held tragedies, dramas, and comedias. But the Romans brought some wild beast fights and gladiator fights to the stage of the theater as well.
Oh, wow. And that was all here?
Yep, all here. Here we have the Gate of Hercules right in front of us, with the carvings of him depicted on the both sides of us.
Strolling through the site is an insight into life in ancient times. Perhaps the most recognisable of these incredible ruins is the Library of Celsus, considered one of the only remaining examples of great libraries of the ancient world.
Can't miss it.
That's correct. It's from 2nd century AD.
And is that one of the most well-preserved buildings on this site?
No, actually, it's not a really well-preserved one, but it's a really well-reconstructed one we have. Where they started to rebuild the structure in the year of 1970, and they spent 8 years to give this original look to the structure today we have, the Library of Celsus.
From the busy port of Kuşadası, we're cruising to Bozcaada, a small secluded island in the Aegean Sea. For a relatively small island, Bozcaada is home to an impressive castle, which stands as a reminder of its rich past.
There was a purpose to this castle being built here with the view of the ocean, right?
That's right. An outpost located right in front of the Dardanelles, and by this way, protection and control.
But there's much more to Bozcaada than its grand castle.
Is this the main tourism for Bozcaada, this castle?
No, not this castle. The reason why people do come here for vacations, it's actually wine.
Wine!
The island's wine history dates back many centuries.
Bozcaada is a place from the ancient times where people grew grapes. From 3,000 years ago.
The family that opened Asma 6 restaurant on the waterfront have been involved in Bozcaada's wine industry for generations.
Let's start with the white wine.
Okay.
Okay.
So local grapes
Yes,
produced
it's called
here.
Vasilaki, produced here. It's a dry wine,
Okay.
so it would be very nice with some seafood and some cheese also.
Okay,
So cheers.
here we go. Ooh. Is this one of your favourites?
Yes, I like it.
It is nice and dry.
Yeah.
And Esra, what should I say before we toast?
A sherefe.
Sherefe?
Yes.
And what does
sherefe.
that mean?
Well, whatever we talk on this table while we're drinking is between us. So you promise not to tell it to anyone else, to your honor.
Hey, well, depends how many wines I have.
As we head to Çanakkale, the gateway to the Gallipoli Peninsula, the Emerald Azzurra crew navigates us through the Dardanelles, the strategically significant strip of water separating Europe and Asia. And at any time during your holiday, guests can take advantage of Emerald Cruises' open bridge policy to get a first-hand look at just how this luxury yacht operates.
This is a pretty good view from up here. Do many guests come up here?
Guests can come up any time of day or night, morning, evening, twilight, sunset, sunrise. It's great.
And what's it like to captain a luxury yacht like this?
Exhilarating. I love it. We can get into ports and coves, places where the bigger ships can't go. And that's the beauty of it.
For many Australians visiting Turkey, Anzac Cove is a place of pilgrimage that can't be missed.
Anzac Day commemorates all those who served in battle for Australia and New Zealand in wars throughout history. But the day itself, April 25, signifies the day Australian and New Zealand soldiers landed here on the shores of Anzac Cove.
The landing of Allied troops at Gallipoli was the first major action Australians were involved in World War I.
It's really hard to wrap my head around that we're standing on Anzac Cove and this is where the first landing was at Gallipoli, April 25, 1915. Like, here we are where it all happened.
That is right. The Australian New Zealand Army Corps, they landed right here where we are. And for the next 300 meters, with 16,000 men on that day. Conflict 108 years ago, right now a peaceful place.
This hauntingly beautiful landscape is now the resting place of many thousands of Australian and New Zealand soldiers. There's many tragic tales to be told, and these trenches still stand as a reminder of the devastation.
It's one of the two locations along the Anzac front where the trenches got as close as 10 meters to each other.
So the Turkish front line and the Australian, New Zealand front line, 10 metres, did you say?
Yes, there's only 10 meters of no man's land between them.
Though its trenches are long gone, the battle for Lone Pine was one of the most catastrophic of Gallipoli.
The Allied side captured 3 trenches, one after the other. But the Turks want them back. That became the reason for non-stop fighting for 3 days and 2 nights within this area.
I can imagine a lot of lives lost in those 3 days.
The Australians lost 2,217 soldiers and the Turks 4,200 in an area like 2 tennis courts.
That's it.
That's it. It was a very bloody fight, the Battle of the Lone Pine.
These days, it's the site of Lone Pine Cemetery, which also holds the memorial of the missing.
Here we have the Australian Memorial and a main Australian cemetery, as also the names of 6,500 Australians who do not have any known graves. They lie here anywhere along the front where we just walk and where we just stand.
Amongst all the trench warfare, an unlikely bond was forged.
Both sides were losing the idea of fighting. And there we see that by playing games with each other, exchanging gifts to each other, there showed up a strange friendship in 1915 here between these soldiers.
Do you think that's created from the closeness we shared on the front line?
Be sure it started here within these trenches. It started here and keeps on going till today.
Growing up in Australia, we learn so much about Gallipoli and the history of the Anzacs. It is a privilege to be here and see this sacred site with my very own eyes. It's really hard to believe this beautiful, peaceful place was once the site of so much tragedy.
After 15 days and countless amazing experiences, Emerald Azzurra has delivered us to our final destination, Istanbul. As the former ancient capital of the Roman Empire and the only city that borders 2 continents, Istanbul is a true melting pot of history and culture. And as you'd expect of a city with this kind of heritage, it has more than its fair share of impressive buildings and striking monuments.
This is so impressive. This is the Blue Mosque.
Yes, this is the Blue Mosque.
It's got such striking features.
Yes, the main dome is supported by 4 semi-domes, and semi-domes are supported by quarter of domes and cascades flowing down like waterfall.
It does look like a cascading waterfall. I'm really looking forward to seeing what's inside as well.
Yes.
It's easy to see why it's become one of the city's most iconic landmarks.
I see a lot of blue in here, a lot of blue tiles. Is that why it's called the Blue Mosque?
The blue tiles, the blue stained glass windows, and the sunshine coming through the windows, all was blue. And that made the people forget the original name of the mosque, Sultan Ahmed, and call it the Blue Mosque.
And is there special meaning to the colour blue?
Blue is supposed to be the color to ward off the evil spirits, to bring you like a color of happiness and easy to obtain from different minerals.
And is this open to anyone of any religion?
Any religion, any sect, any denomination, you can come to this mosque.
And you can just come and appreciate this beauty.
Always.
Just metres away is another of Istanbul's most prized possessions, the Hagia Sophia.
The Hagia Sophia is from the 6th century AD. To my humble opinion, it is the most impressive monument in this city. If it is not the 8th wonder of the world, it is one of the wonders of the world.
And we're only a couple of 100 metres from the Blue Mosque. Is it true that that was built there to complement the Hagia Sophia?
Well, in fact, yes, the Blue Mosque is about 1,100 years younger. It was built to balance the hill, the first hill of the city.
Istanbul also lays claim to the largest and oldest covered market in the world.
Ahmet, there are so many shops here, I don't even know where to begin. How many shops are there?
Altogether, there are about 3,800 shops in this grand bazaar.
In the one area?
In the one area.
And what do they sell?
Everything. Jewelry, rugs, carpets, alabaster, textile.
You can get absolutely everything.
You can find everything.
The Grand Bazaar has been the central meeting place of the city since it opened in 1455.
So it was very important to the city of Istanbul, and is it still very important?
It is still very important for the old town of Istanbul, and it is a highlight. It attracts people from all over the world. So when you come to Istanbul, visiting the bazaar is a must.
And also, what are we trying here? Is this traditional tea?
Yes, this traditional tea, Turkish families, they brew tea every morning, and they brew it in a small pot, and the small pot sits on the big pot
And you just drink this all throughout the day?
throughout the day.
From the ancient city of Athens all the way through to the incredible cultural melting pot that is Istanbul, it's amazing to reflect on what we've seen and experienced the last 15 days. And it's quite fitting to wrap it up here, where culture, history and even continents collide.
Join Emerald Cruises on a luxury yacht cruise in the Mediterranean or Caribbean and discover the magic of small ship cruising. All meals with complimentary drinks, many shore excursions and more are included. Secure your unforgettable 2024 or 2025 departure today with super early bird savings from $1,500 per person. Getaway viewers can save an additional $250 per person off the Emerald Cruises Luxury Yacht Cruise Collection. For more information or to request your voucher, visit emeraldcruises.com.au/getaway offer. Call 1300 390 386 or speak to your travel advisor. Please join us again next week when there is something for everyone. We'll be biking in Alice Springs, boating in Sydney, getting our culture on in Singapore, plus eating in France. See you then. Good night.